The Prophet ﷺ once, he steps up on the minbar. He steps on the first step. As you know, the Prophet ﷺ had a minbar, it had 3 steps. He steps on the first step, he says Ameen. He steps on the second one, he says Ameen. He steps on the third one, he says Ameen once again. The companions, they've never seen the Prophet ﷺ do this ever before. So they say to him, Ya Rasulullah, we saw you do something today that we've never seen you do in the past. He says, just now, Jibreel alayhi salam, he came to me. And he said to me, as I mounted the first step, he said to me, may Allah cause this person to perish. May Allah deprive this person. Who is that person? The one who attains Ramadan. Ramadan comes upon him and he doesn't achieve forgiveness from Allah in Ramadan. May that person be deprived. So I said, Ameen. Then as I mounted the second step, Jibreel alayhi salam again makes another dua. He says, Raghima anfu abdin. Again, may he be deprived, may he perish, may he be humiliated, may he be moved far away. Who is it this time? The person who sees his parents, who is around his parents when they're old, and he is not able to attain Jannah by serving them. Then the Prophet ﷺ says, Ameen. Then the Prophet ﷺ mounted the third step. And Jibreel alayhi salam, he says, may the person perish, be deprived, be far away. The one amongst whom, when your name is mentioned, you don't say, that person doesn't say, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. May he also be removed from mercy. May he be moved far away. This hadith, authentic in Musnad of Ahmad and in other places. What do we know from this? We know from this that Ramadan is the golden opportunity. There is so much goodness in Ramadan that we describe it as gold. You can't miss it. It's not allowed for you to oppress your own soul by missing this opportunity. It is the golden time. The nights of Ramadan are the best nights in the whole year. There is no night in the whole year that is better than the nights of Ramadan. So how can we deprive our own selves of it? The Prophet ﷺ says, there's 3 ahadith, all from Abu Hurairah, in Bukhari and Muslim. These 3 ahadith, we're going to quote them together. من صام رمضان إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. The one who fasts the whole of Ramadan with iman, hoping for a reward from Allah, غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. All his past sins that he's ever committed are forgiven. Bukhari and Muslim. The other hadith, similar to this one, من قام رمضان إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. The one who stands in prayer the whole of Ramadan, the nights of Ramadan, the prayer that we know as Taraweeh or Qiyamul Layl. The one who stands in prayer in the nights of Ramadan with iman, faith, and hoping for a reward from Allah, then all his past sins are forgiven. Not a single one of them will remain. Then the final hadith. من قام ليلة القدر إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. The one who stands ليلة القدر, stands up on the night of power. Laylatul Qadr, he stands up in prayer in that night with iman and hoping for the reward of Allah, then all of his past sins are forgiven. Golden opportunity, a golden time. How could we oppress our own selves by allowing ourselves to be lazy in that time? Not possible. Shaitan has been locked up. There is no shaitan whispering to you and holding you back. So if a person now decides, I'm not going to chase after, I'm not going to chase this good, to attain this good, so all of my sins will be forgiven, then truly that is his normal self. In Ramadan we come to know our true selves. No big shayateens forcing you, whispering to you all the time to do all these evil acts. So if we start doing evil and deprive ourselves from the good in Ramadan, then that is because our nature has now become corrupt. It has become totally corrupt that we don't want the good. It could be that we don't actually believe there is good to be had in that time. So the Prophet ﷺ has given us three things. He said, the one who fasts the whole of Ramadan, the one who stands up in every night in Ramadan, praying to Allah, seeking His forgiveness. And this month is to seek Allah's forgiveness. And then he says, the final one, the one who stands up in prayer, Laylatul Qadr. All of those people, they attain the forgiveness of Allah, and all of their past sins, all of the minor sins that they've committed are forgiven. As for the major sins, then you have to actually ask that Allah forgives you for those sins. But all of your minor sins, and all of us, there's not a single person here who knows about himself that which no one else knows, that which is between him and Allah. And we all are in need of that mercy of Allah, that forgiveness of Allah. So it's not as some people say, the first part of the month is rahmah, mercy, and the second part of the month is forgiveness, and the third part of the month is being freed from an-nar. Rather, the whole of Ramadan is like this. The whole of Ramadan is mercy from Allah. The whole of Ramadan is forgiveness from Allah. The whole of Ramadan is being freed, our necks being freed from the hellfire. طيب, as-sawm. The famous hadith about sawm, about fasting, the Prophet ﷺ says, from Abu Hurairah again, in the hadith Qudsi, the Prophet ﷺ says that Allah says, in one riwayah it says, as-sawmu li wa ana ajzi bihi, yada'u shahwatahu wa aklahu wa shurbahu min ajli, wa as-sawmu junnah. The hadith starts off by saying, Allah says, fasting is for me and I'm going to reward it. Man leaves off his desires, his food, his drinks for my sake, and I'm going to reward him for that. He leaves it for my sake and I'm going to reward him. Then this hadith, this riwayah, which is in Bukhari and Muslim, continues and says, fasting is a shield. And for the fasting person, there's 2 times of joy. Once when he breaks the fast, and the other time when he meets his Rabb, when he meets his Lord, Yawm al-Qiyamah, and he's given his reward for that. Then the riwayah continues saying that the smell that comes out of the fasting person's mouth, that is more beloved to Allah than the musk, the most beautiful of musk is to one of us. That riwayah of Bukhari and Muslim. Another riwayah of the same narration in Muslim alone is that all of Ibn Adam's actions, all of the human being's actions are for himself. And Allah rewards those actions and increases the reward of every action between 10 and 700 times. Then Allah says, except for fasting, for that is for me and I am going to reward it myself. That's the addition in the riwayah of Muslim, in that riwayah. Then there's another one in which the Prophet ﷺ adds to what we've already heard and says, if one of you is fasting, then let him not be obscene during that fasting day. Let him not have any kind of relations on that day. And then let him not be foul in his speech. Let him not act in a very irrational, very ignorant manner. Let him behave well. And if someone tries to swear at him, curse him, fight him, then let him say, I am a person who is fasting. And that's enough. Now in this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ has said that Allah said that fasting is for me and I'm going to reward it. The scholars, because they knew all of the actions of worship are for Allah anyway. And Allah is the one who's going to reward them anyway. They looked at this phrase, as-sawmu li wa ana ajzi bihi. Fasting is for me and I'm going to reward it. They looked at this phrase and they said, what could this then mean? What is the difference in sawm that is not found in other actions? So we can summarize these in 5 points. Firstly, they said, sawm, there is no riyah, there is no showing off when it comes to fasting. Because fasting is something hidden. You could be in a corner somewhere and you could have eaten. No one knows. No one knows if you're truly fasting or not. You're not showing off because all you're doing is leaving. So that's one difference.